Hey, Kevin Coy here, and this is the third in a series of tiny houses, and we're back on the island of Tahiti, about 30 minutes south of the main city of Papeete, and it's a nice quiet little, I don't know, I guess you would call it a suburb, if you will. This is the biggest and main island of the Society Islands out here, which includes Moorea, Bora Bora, Raiatea, and a host of other smaller islands. The majority of the population of this French Polynesia is on Tahiti, and a big bunch of that's in Papeete. But this is our third Airbnb, and I thought it would be really cool to show you. This is a house about the size of the house we live in at home, and it's a much older home, and it's got some really unique features to it. We're right on the water, which is one of them, which is really cool. We got this little bitty side deck here, and we're facing west out over the water here, so we get some spectacular sunsets out here when the clouds aren't in our way, which was really cool last night. And so it's some interesting things about these places that we've been staying and touring. Of course, we're way the heck out in the middle of the South Pacific, and everything has to be shipped in, so a lot higher cost of goods for everything: food, gas, building materials, everything, alcohol. And so they get very innovative and work with what they have, and so that's what's really unique, because these are some really eclectic places, and they do some really interesting things. They get very creative with their building processes, so they can make things work for themselves. Land is of course a premium here, and there's not a whole lot, so the sites are small, and so they try to cram as much in as they can and still have a really nice tropical ambiance, which you're going to see as we walk around in here. But so we're right on the water with this bungalow, and it's a stucco exterior structure with a metal roof, corrugated metal roof. And again, they have solar hot water here, which is almost every structure we've seen has got solar hot water, because they're taking advantage of 84 degrees and sunshine pretty much year round. And so one of the neat little features they've got back here is, tucked away in this corner, is a little outside shower basin. There's a drain in the concrete right here, and it's a stone concrete mix here, and so they got a cold water rinsing shower, so when you come off the beach you can come over here and rinse yourself off, get the salt off of you, and then go on in the house after you've gotten rid of the sand and everything from coming off the beach. The beach is a mixture of coral, crushed coral, and volcanic material, so it's kind of a gray color, this particular beach. We've been on a black sand beach, we've been on white sand beaches, and this is sort of a mixture of the two. And we got a really big lagoon here. If you look out over the water, you can kind of see a wave line, which is probably, I don't know, 500 yards out. This is the biggest lagoon we've been on. Some of them have been really small, and the coral drops off right off shore, and then it gets really deep really fast out here. In fact, between here and Moorea, it's 6,000 feet deep at the deepest out in the channel out there, and that's where all the whales like to run through there and do their breeding and calving out here in the summertime. And they've pretty much left for the year and headed back to Alaska. So I'm going to show you the island so you can see it. It's about 7.5 miles from where we are over to Moorea, which is where we were for the last 10 days. And now we've come back over to Tahiti again to finish up our stay. So you can see Moorea back here behind us, and we got a real nice breeze going today, which is nice because it's about 84 degrees out here, and without the breeze it's pretty warm and very humid, and not real comfortable without a fan blowing. So let's take a walk around the corner here, and we'll start taking a look at the living structure and accommodations. Again, we're in a tropical climate that's year-round, mid-70s at night and mid-80s during the day. So it's a lot of indoor-outdoor living, which is great. So you don't need a lot of interior space. We live outside for the most part. All the windows are open all the time, and doors and things. And so they got a really cool little barbecue, stone barbecue feature right here that is definitely dated. It's this. I never did find out how old the house is. I'll try to find out and put it up on the video when we get it out. But lots of very mature landscape here, which is really lush and really pretty. We got flowers probably year-round. They got bananas and coconuts and papaya. We were walking a couple of houses down on the way to the grocery store. There was star fruit trees. There was mango trees. It was just, I mean, you can just eat right off the property around here. So we got this really nice patio, covered patio out here with a good breezeway coming right off the ocean, and we spend most of our time out here during the day. And this is a bungalow, and I would say it's roughly between 550 and 600 square feet altogether, but it's a studio. And so we've got a real nice big slider here. It's actually a 3-door slider, which I want to say is about 10 feet. And next time I go on the next trip, I'll bring a tape measure so we can keep kind of some dimensions going here. So let's take a look inside and get a feel for the space. Again, very open floor plan, and the ceiling is open, and I want to say this probably wasn't the original design for this house, and then they converted it into a living space because just the way they designed it with the open roof going over the walls, and there's a step up in the kitchen you'll see in a minute. So big open windows, and we just leave them open day and night. These are some ornamental iron designs right here. Kind of keeps people from climbing through, and I mean, it's a private property and it's all fenced in and everything, but somewhere along the way they put that in. There's a couple ceiling fans up here keeping the air moving inside. There's an air conditioner, but the air conditioning, if you got a good breeze, it's comfortable. We slept in here last night without it cooled off pretty well with everything going and all the windows and stuff open. But power here is expensive because they have to make it, and the way they do it is they have big diesel generators that are probably bigger than this house, and they produce power for the island. And so the host that we have here told us that it would be an extra charge for the power to run the air conditioner if we wanted to do it. And she said roughly 8 hours of air conditioning off that little unit right there is going to run you about $12. So if you want to get an 8 hours sleep, it's going to cost you an extra $12 for air conditioning if that's what you want to do. So we didn't do it last night, and we were comfortable. In fact, somewhere along the way, I think we pulled the sheets up last night and got cool enough that it was comfortable enough to sleep under the sheet. They don't need blankets here, believe me. We got a little pull out here that's a futon. And so this is the living room, bedroom, all the way around here. And then
kind of like our home.
Yeah, we got a freestanding closet. Again, telling me that this was not maybe the original plan for this building, but they use it. It's an Airbnb, and they've got a couple of them here on the property. So then we got to step up into the kitchen. And again, this being a wooden platform is probably got some plumbing and electrical under it, and that's how they got away with putting it in, because it's concrete underneath. So rather than bust up the concrete, they just built a little platform here, and we got a little bitty kind of a galley kitchen with a little breakfast table. And this is the size of the refrigerators that we have been seeing in the South Pacific, as well as when we were in Costa Rica for a couple of weeks. They don't get any bigger than this. So they do a lot of, going to the store frequently and to the markets. They get a lot of fresh food, and so they don't have a lot of storage for long term, for their food and stuff. And then a little gas hob or burner up here, mounted into the counter. And then there's an oven, a little bitty one. Kind of looks like an easy bake oven, but it gets the job done. And we had another one in the last place, which you probably have seen by the time you see this video. Similar, it was the one piece, but like a little apartment size guy. And then I think this is an on-demand hot water tank, but I don't know if it's functioning right now, to my knowledge, because I think they're just using the solar powered one to run everything, and that gives us enough. I mean, there's 4 of us staying here, and we can all bounce through the shower without any trouble, as long as we don't want to stand in there and but you don't really want to when it's 84 degrees out. The last thing you want to take is a hot shower, so it's pretty much a lukewarm shower at best, and that's plenty to cool off and rinse off every day. So a little bit of counter space in the sink, and they do have a filter system for the drinking water here, just gives it a little fresher taste. It's potable, but that helps out. And then we got all these little cabinets here with a little variety of pots and pans. It gets the job done. We haven't really had any trouble in the different Airbnbs. I mean, it's a minimalistic thing, but we've
been cooking mostly ourselves.
Yeah, we've been cooking here.
Local food.
The food here is really expensive. That's the one thing that everybody will tell you about Tahiti is food is really expensive in Tahiti, and that's because it all has to be shipped in. They typically ship it in from New Zealand, the U.S. We actually see a lot of Costco products here. Not a pitch. Australia, and also France, because this is a French territory, so we have a lot of French food here, and they speak French here. That's their main language, and English is a kind of a second language for some people. But we've done a lot of pantomiming to get our way around the islands for the last few weeks, because not everybody.
Google Translator.
Yeah, Google Translate to communicate with people.
It's a really good thing to tell people. That's an awesome.
Yeah, download it. It's a free app, and we did once we got here, and it actually set up so that you can use it when you're not online, because the internet is limited here. We're not using our internet, our data, our phones in this country because it's expensive, and so we if we're in Wi-Fi, which is usually when we're in a building, then we can get on and do internet, but their internets are really slow here. You can't upload. We haven't been able to upload any videos since we've been here. In fact, they kind of frown upon it because it just eats up their bandwidth when you're doing it. And it actually took us, 4 or 5 days to get one video up. We did get one, and then I think they restricted the bandwidth on us after that, so it just wasn't even worth messing with. So again, eclectic decor here, and just kind of, not real fit and finish, but works and makes do. And I don't know that they have like a lot of high-end carpentry skills here on the island, but they and this is dated. I'm going to say this is at least from the 60s, maybe even the 50s. I could be wrong, but I think just looking at the decor and everything, that seems to be what it is. So